From Pacifica, this is Democracy Now!
We will leave on the Greyhound bus tomorrow morning at either 5:15 or 6:45. We were all again made aware of what we can expect to face: jail, extreme violence, or death.
In 1961, 12 people, both black and white, decided that they would test the segregation laws of the South by simply getting on buses, Greyhound buses and Trailways buses, and going down south, and the white and black people would sit together at the front of the bus. They would eat together in the restaurants and in the bus stations. The white people would use the colored-only restrooms, and the black people would use the white-only restrooms, and they would just see what would happen to them. And they had no police protection, no army protection, very little press when they started out, and they had no idea that it would really turn into this mass movement.
Award-winning filmmaker Stanley Nelson premieres Freedom Riders at the Sundance Film Festival. They were threatened, attacked, and jailed, and they changed America. Today, as we begin Black History Month, we speak with two of the Freedom Riders, one black, one white, about their journey through the Deep South and their nonviolent struggle for racial justice. All that and more coming up. Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. In a move expected to heighten tension in the Middle East, the Obama administration's quietly expanding its land and sea-based missile shield system in the Persian Gulf. The U.S. is dispatching Patriot defensive missiles to Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Kuwait. In addition, the U.S. is keeping 2 ships in the Gulf capable of shooting down missiles. The Obama White House says the move is aimed at deterring an attack by Iran. In addition, Washington is helping Saudi Arabia to create a 30,000-strong force to protect oil installations and other infrastructure. President Obama is unveiling a record $3.8 trillion budget for 2011 today. The budget would boost war spending while trimming domestic expenditures. Obama's seeking a $44 billion increase in the military's budget. If approved, this will bring the Pentagon's budget to $708 billion. The Obama administration is also asking Congress to increase spending on the U.S. nuclear arsenal by more than $5 billion over the next 5 years. Obama's seeking the extra money despite a pledge to cut the U.S. arsenal and seek a nuclear weapons-free world. The Obama administration argues the boost in spending is needed to ensure that U.S. warheads remain secure and work as designed as the arsenal shrinks and ages. Obama's budget also proposes a tripling of federal loan guarantees to help private companies build new nuclear power plants. The administration's asking Congress to approve $54 billion in loan guarantees, up from about $18 billion. Last week, President Obama promoted nuclear energy in his State of the Union address.
To create more of these clean energy jobs, we need more production, more efficiency, more incentives. And that means building a new generation of safe, clean nuclear power plants in this country.
Newsweek magazine has revealed the Justice Department will soon issue a report clearing former Bush administration attorneys John Yoo and Jay Bybee of professional misconduct for authoring memos justifying waterboarding and other forms of torture. The Office of Professional Responsibility determined Yoo and Bybee showed, quote, poor judgment when they wrote a 2002 memo approving so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, but the report recommends no disciplinary action against the men. An earlier draft of the report, prepared by the Bush administration, had recommended Yoo and Bybee be referred to state disciplinary authorities for sanctions that could have included the revocation of their licenses to practice. A jury in Wichita, Kansas, has convicted Scott Roeder of first-degree murder for killing George Tiller, the doctor who provided abortion. He was killed in a church last year. The jury delivered the verdict after just 37 minutes. Roeder admitted he walked into the church and shot Dr. Tiller point-blank in the forehead. Roeder said his actions were justified to prevent Dr. Tiller from carrying out more abortions. Women's rights advocates have called on the Obama administration to continue an investigation to determine if anybody else aided and abetted Roeder in the murder. Roeder will be sentenced in March. The government watchdog overseeing the $700 billion bailout program says the government's response to the financial meltdown has made it more likely the United States will face a deeper crisis in the future. Neil Barofsky, the Special Inspector General for the Troubled Asset Relief Program, known as TARP, said the problems that led to the last crisis have not yet been addressed and in some cases have grown worse. In a new report, Barofsky writes, quote, "Even if TARP saved our financial system from driving off a cliff back in 2008, absent meaningful reform, we're still driving on the same winding mountain road, but this time in a faster car." Barofsky also warned the government's growing role in the housing market has increased the risk of another housing bubble. The White House said Sunday the U.S. would resume medical evacuations of critically injured Haitian earthquake victims after suspending the flights for 5 days. The U.S. military ended the evacuation flights Wednesday because Florida officials complained their hospitals were overwhelmed and that they needed a plan for reimbursement for the care they were providing. Medical officials said the suspension of flights had been catastrophic for patients. Dr. Barth Green of Project Metashare for Haiti said, quote, "The people are dying in Haiti because they can't get out." Meanwhile, in the Haitian town of Gracier, residents blocked roads and seized trucks on Friday to protest the lack of aid. Residents said trucks with humanitarian assistance have driven through the town on the road to Léogâne, but have not stopped to distribute any in Gracier. Meanwhile, in the town of Carrefour, residents continue to suffer due to lack of aid. Many residents, including 56-year-old Simone Charles, now live in makeshift tents.
Today marks the 16th day that I have been here with the children. I am dying of hunger. I used to walk, but now I can't because I am so weak. I can't even drink a little bit of water.
Haitian authorities have arrested 10 Baptist missionaries from the United States after they were caught attempting to smuggle 33 Haitian children out of Haiti. Haiti's Prime Minister Max Berive accused the missionaries of illegal trafficking of children. Child welfare groups expressed outrage over the group's attempts, saying some of the children had parents who survived the January 12th earthquake. The missionaries say they were only trying to rescue abandoned and traumatized children. The children have been taken to an orphanage in Haiti run by the international aid group SOS Children's Villages, headed by George Williard.
The situation for children in Haiti at the moment is really dramatic. There are thousands of unaccompanied children. This means the SOS Children's Villages and other NGOs have to take care of them. We have to give them a safe and secure place, because outside they are really vulnerable and they are living in danger, so we have to bring them in and then slowly checking if their relatives or family is still capable.
A top operative from Hamas has been assassinated in Dubai. Mahmoud Mabou was found dead in his room in a hotel on January 20th. Hamas officials accused Israel of assassinating Mabou and also, quote, moving the battlefield abroad. The assassination occurred 3 days after an Israeli cabinet minister visited Abu Dhabi. Israel had accused Mabou of being involved in the kidnapping of 2 Israeli soldiers and for delivering arms from Iran to Hamas. Israel's Justice Ministry has announced no soldiers will be indicted for shooting an American activist last March in the West Bank. The activist, Tristan was critically injured when Israeli soldiers fired a high-velocity tear gas canister directly at his head. Anderson was taking part in a weekly nonviolent protest against Israel's separation wall in the West Bank village of Nilin. In other news from the region, the Israeli army has disciplined 2 high-ranking officers for approving the use of white phosphorus shells during Israel's assaults on Gaza last year. The Israeli paper Haaretz reported that a military inquiry concluded that a division commander and a brigade commander endangered human life by firing the highly incendiary weapon towards a compound run by a UN aid agency. Former British Prime Minister Tony Blair defended the 2003 U.S.-led invasion of Iraq on Friday. Blair testified during Britain's inquiry into the Iraq War.
My view is if we'd left Saddam there and he'd carried on, as we said, with the intent to develop these weapons and the know-how and the concealment program, and the sanctions had gone, I have little doubt myself, but it's a judgment and other people may take a different judgment, that today we would be facing a